This is Snoop Dogg's barbecue rib recipe, and I recreated it to find out if it tastes good or if Snoop should stay out of the kitchen.
A big thanks to Masterbuild for sponsoring this video.
This is Snoop Dogg's book, and this is Snoop Dogg's rib recipe. Yeah, they look tasty, but do they actually taste good, or is it just a nice picture? My cameraman is a big music fan, and one of the artists that he follows is Snoop Dogg. Now apparently the day he found out Snoop Dogg was a cookbook, he felt the appeal to buy Snoop Dogg's book. And lo and behold, he found a barbecue recipe inside. So in his mind it was a good idea to give me the book and have me make Snoop Dogg's rib recipe. Since I grew up on Snoop and I'm a big fan, I thought, hey, what can go wrong?
Thank you.
These are my ribs, and based on the picture in the book you can clearly see that he used baby back ribs. So I selected some beautiful baby back ribs just to make sure Snoop gets nothing but the best. I'm going to switch out my regular shaker because Snoop wants a whopping 1/4 cup brown sugar. He follows it up with a tablespoon of paprika powder, a tablespoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of ground black pepper, a teaspoon of salt, and he brings the heat with a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Let's mix that up and do the taste test. It looks good, so that's promising. And remember the golden rule, don't knock something before you actually try it, because that just shows, don't do that. Let's give it a try. It was definitely sweet and garlicky and paprika and, oh, there's, I was thinking I can't taste the cayenne pepper. There is the cayenne pepper. All right, now what? Apply the rub to the ribs. And to do both sides, I cannot put too much on. This is a really tight amount. There we go. Now, Snoop says nothing about taking the membrane off. So what I have here is one rack of rib without the membrane and one rack of rib with the membrane. Just in case Snoop forgot. I got you, Snoop, don't worry. I got you, bro. There we go. Everything goes on. Yeah. All right, I think these look really good. It covered all of the ribs. It was more than enough to cover the ribs. Plenty of flavor on them. They look very appetizing, and I think it's now time to keep on reading and figure out what to do with these. Apply the rub to the ribs, yeah. Coating both sides. Wrap each rack in aluminum foil and place on the prepared baking sheet in a single layer. Place the ribs in the oven and roast for 1.5 to 2 hours. We're gonna do this in the barbecue. I'm gonna do a little interpretation because since we're doing it in the barbecue, I'm not gonna wrap them, otherwise we're not gonna get any smoke flavor on the rib. So I'm gonna do you a solid one. I'm just gonna put a little bit of smoke on these ribs. Don't worry about them. We'll get them done properly. We'll be using the temperature that Snoop suggested, the 150 Celsius, 300 Fahrenheit. And we'll be cooking for 1.5 hours because he recommends 1.5 to 2 hours of cooking, testing at 1.5 hours for doneness. The meat is ready when it's tender and easy to pull away from the bone. This might be Snoop's dream smoker. He's on the road a lot. He can take it anywhere he needs to go. He just loads it up, turns it on wherever, and then he can smoke. Second hand, he might already be smoking. Let's open this up, stick in a fire starter, light it up, load it up with charcoal, put in a stick of smoke wood, set the temperature to 300 degrees Fahrenheit, aka 150 Celsius. And then our smoker is ready for Snoop's baby back ribs. 2 slabs, no wrap. And what I'm thinking is, since we got no foil on, it might take a little longer than what Snoop says. He says 1.5 to 2 hours. Ours might take a little longer because it's not wrapped. We'll see. We'll check in 1/2 an hour anyways. Unwrap the ribs and brush the top side with a thick layer of barbecue sauce. Let's go. It starts with 1/2 cup of apricot jam, followed by 1/4 cup of ketchup, and Snoop finishes it up with 2 tablespoons of Worcester sauce, 2 tablespoons of yellow mustard, 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, and 1/2 teaspoon of red chili flakes. I'm gonna mix that up, and that should be the barbecue sauce. Yes, yeah, okay. It's still a bit lumpy, and like the mustard's really the yellow dots in there. It's like it could be a bit better if we just heat up the sauce and bring it to a boil. I think Snoop just forgot about that part, but it's an easy fix. We'll just solve it for him. Don't worry, Snoop, I got you. Don't worry. We'll bring it to a boil and just watch what happens to the sauce. By bringing it to a boil, all of the ingredients are going to mix together much better. It's just a step to bring them together on molecular level. Already looks way, way better. We'll set this aside for when the ribs are done. 1.5 hours has gone by, so it's time to check on our baby backs. Ooh, wow. I do get a little bit of white on top of this rib. That's from the egg whites that sits in the meat, but if you cook it at a higher temperature, it's gonna pop out a little bit more than when you cook it on low temperatures. But other than that, this looks really, really good. I like the way we built up a little bit of crust. We got a little bit of browning on the sides. Bones are starting to pop. Snoop says we need to check if the bones let go of the meat or let the meat go of the bones. One way to find out is just start yanking a bone and see if it will let go. There we go. It works. I guess it's fine. Well, it looks like these are done. I'm gonna take them off a grill and go back to the book for further instructions. What does he say now? Remove the ribs from the oven. That we did that. From the barbecue then. Carefully blah 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 blah. Preheat the broiler to its highest setting with the rack in the top position. Broiler? It's okay, Snoop. I'll keep breathing. Unwrap the ribs and brush the top side with a thick layer of barbecue sauce. Place the ribs under the broiler for about 10 minutes or until deep brown. The oven, okay, I got it. The broiler part's not really gonna give us that barbecue. There's loads of sugar on this, and I'm gonna brush more sugar onto this because look at that barbecue sauce. It is already so sticky from the sweetness. I'm just gonna try and brush it on and hopefully it kind of gives, yeah, it's giving a little bit. Now, I'm never scared of any sugar, but putting it under the broiler with this much sugar will just burn it. And that will make it extremely bitter. Wow, look at these ribs, man. Woohoo, they look good now. I think Snoop was onto something. Look at these ribs. Look at how good they look right now. We have the better option. The barbecue is here. We got it fired up. We're just gonna put it on the barbecue, like for 5 minutes, just to warm it up a little bit more, get that sauce to be nice and sticky without getting burned. It's really the best option. We got you, Snoop. Woohoo! Wow, Snoop! These ribs look absolutely amazing. I want to give a little credit to myself because honestly, I think my version of Snoop ribs look better than Snoop. Sorry, Snoop. No offense, no offense. Beautiful, beautiful looking ribs. Absolutely freaking gorgeous. You really can tell the difference if they come out of the oven and then under a broiler or if they come straight off the barbecue. It's just that beautiful dark mahogany red that sits in that brown. It's just, it looks so tasty. But what we really care about is what do Snoop's ribs taste like? All right, let's cut into these. Whoa, yo, look at that smoke ring. Nice looking smoke ring. Yeah, they're juicy. I do feel that they're a little bit on the dry side due to the high temperature that we cooked them on. When you're going so fast with these hot temperatures, ribs tend to dry out. And since it's a tough cut of meat, you really want to take it as far as possible without letting them dry out. So I would recommend going a little lower on the temperature. That would make a better rib. However, they look pretty good. Good old Snoop. It's got something going on. Nice bite. Funny thing is, they have a nice smoke flavor. Of course, the original recipe never had any smoke. It's really the smoke that we gave it from the barbecue that made it absolutely freaking amazing. I really get a nice sweet pork flavor. That's the nice thing to say about it. But do they really pop? I don't think so. I would have loved to see a little bit more salt on these ribs, a little bit more flavor on the ribs, a little bit more soul on the ribs. But then again, it's a rapper making ribs, you know, you gotta compliment them for putting in the effort. Best ribs I've ever eaten? No, not even close. Good ribs? Well, yeah, pretty good. If you want, you can give them a try. The recipes are in the book, of course. There's some pretty good recipes in it. The ribs though, well, yeah, B-.